Good enough. Tastes like Christmas. So you had yesterday a story come out of the Des Moines Register about this guy called Carson King. He's an Iowa fan, and his whole thing was that he was holding up signs asking for beer money, and he made like $1 million off of charity just by having these signs at these games. It was a really, really cool thing that they did. So the Des Moines Register, obviously being the biggest newspaper in Iowa, decided what they were going to do was they were going to do a piece on Carson King, which of course makes sense, right? I mean, why wouldn't you want to do that? Especially if you're a newspaper like the Des Moines Register. But, there was one thing. There was one thing that made this story a little bit controversial. They couldn't just do a normal story on Carson King, no. That wouldn't be the Des Moines Register way, no. No. They had to dig up a tweet from when he was 16 years old and publish it apropos of nothing. Or rather, not even publish it. They didn't even go that far. They just mentioned that they were there. Why did they mention these tweets? Because they were racist. I need a minute. I need to collect my thoughts there for a second. Okay. Like I said, they were terrifying. They were racist. These tweets. And of course, the media has to do what they gotta do. And the media has two goals. One, uncritically publish DNC press releases and things from the Working Families Party and the Center for American Progress. And the other thing that they have to do is punish working class bigots like Carson King. He's 24 years old. The tweets he made originated from when he was 16 years old. But the fact of the matter is, they needed to tell people about these evil, nasty tweets. Because if they didn't do that, I mean, some people may not know that there's a working class bigot in our midst. Yes, they went through, they published this thing. Boom, Carson King, who had a big thing going on with Anheuser-Busch, loses his relationship with Anheuser-Busch. They cut ties with him over racist tweets that he made when he was a 16-year-old. He's 24 years old right now. So when people like Trump, okay, and when people like Trump say that the media is the enemy of the American people, when they say things like that, they're talking about the Des Moines Register. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about the Des Moines Register. They're talking about any sociology student who managed to con their way into a newspaper job and now thinks that they're the cultural police for the entire country. That's who we're talking about when we say things like that. Other journalists are probably pretty mad about this because they're giving away the whole ship. They're not supposed to be so open and honest about the fact that they are the enemy of American people, and really their only goal is to punish working class bigots, but yet they did it in the most overt way that they possibly could. There isn't a way that they could have done this to signal their disdain for working normal people like they did this way. I have a copy of the full article right here. I'm going to read just a little bit of it. Okay, this is the end of the article. This is the end of the article. I'm reading it exactly as it was published in the Des Moines Register. Okay. Let's see. Prairie Meadows has been very supportive of King, who has had to take time off work to attend to the media requests. Along with the casino's donation, individual employees have also offered their assistance. King's supervisor, Vice President of Security Clint Pursley, has helped King connect with people to provide him legal and tax advice about his fundraising. We're very proud of Carson. It started off as a joke, just having some fun at the first ever game day in Ames. Brad Ryan, Senior Vice President of the casino, said, "The luck of even being on TV at the time and having a fun demeanor has led to something far beyond anyone's imagination." A routine background check of King's social media revealed two racist jokes, one comparing black mothers to gorillas and another making light of black people killed in the Holocaust. The joke tweets date back to 2012 when King was a 16-year-old high school student. That's the full context of their reporting. They publish this apropos of nothing, and then ask why people don't like the media. 100% real. This author, Aaron Calvin, is the guy's name with the Des Moines Register. Aaron Calvin hates Carson King because Carson King is a bro. That's why he doesn't like Carson King. When he did this piece on Carson King, he didn't want to do this piece on Carson King. No, his news editor said, hey, Aaron, you need to go and do this piece on this guy, on this Carson King guy. You need to go do this because Carson King is getting a lot of attention. You know, he's raising a lot of money. He's somebody who's hitting a stride, so to speak, in his charitable giving. So Aaron Calvin goes to see Carson King. So far, so good. Well, Aaron Calvin meets Carson King, and what does he see? He sees a football bro. He sees a guy who goes to Iowa State games uncritically, and he enjoys them, and he holds up signs, and he drinks Busch Light. Aaron Calvin doesn't like that guy. You know why? Because Aaron Calvin was a liberal arts student, like Rob Sussman. He was a liberal arts student, and he doesn't like bros, because bros didn't make him feel welcome back when he was in high school. Bros might have called him a big, giant nerd and shoved him into a locker, like they did Rob Sussman. Except instead of externalize that in my adulthood, Rob Sussman didn't, and decided to pursue a much healthier lifestyle than Aaron. Aaron instead joined the Des Moines Register and now uses his position as a journalist in order to punish those who he thinks in some way have wronged him by their very existence, which is why he went after Carson King in the first place, because Carson King is a bro, Aaron Calvin is not. See what I'm getting at? If you really want to look at the world, you see all sorts of examples of this very same trend come to fruition. In fact, it explains a whole lot of the Twitterati to go after dudes like Carson King. You see, their only regret is that they can't actually put real state force behind what they're talking about. They're not actually allowed to do that. They can't become the Stasi police. They can't do it. So what they do is they become private sector Stasi and join the Des Moines Register. That's what they do instead. That's the goal. That's the idea. Wait, there's more. There's a little bit more that makes this even funnier. Okay, so after this whole thing happened, people decided to check in to some of the tweets that Aaron Calvin from the Des Moines Register had made when he was younger. Surprise, surprise, surprise. They all say, F the cops. They all say all sorts of wild, nasty stuff. It's great. And now, guess who's under investigation by the Des Moines Register? That's right, Aaron Calvin. What goes around comes around. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Maybe there's that thing for, what was it, Joseph Goebbels? Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi guy, Joseph Goebbels. He said something years and years and years ago, back when he was alive and relevant. He said, accuse your enemy of that which you are most guilty. Oh my. The media needs a wake-up call. The media needs a big moment of clarity. And it's not going to happen unless, honestly, normal people get involved. That's the only way that it happens. When the people take back control of the media from, the intelligentsia class, from the sociology class, from the ivory tower class, only then, I think, can anything really get done. Because as it stands right now, the people who are running these major media outlets, they're not people who are real. They're not. For the most part, they're really honestly not. It's people who, it's ivory tower folks with ivory tower ideas, and that's going to reflect in everything that they do. And it's not necessarily a conspiracy as much as it is that's just the kind of person that media attracts. That and Rob Sussman. whoever the hell that might be. Why the hell am I drinking this?